Christmas present to myself. Now, this might be I think you guys are all gonna fucking enjoy this, but it is self-indulgent, and I want to make it clear that it's a self-indulgent segment. It's one of my pet peeves, right? So, as you guys know, there's a lot of lies that circulate about me. I've been in esports for nearly 2 decades. You can't express opinions in a live setting all the time without saying something that's going to piss something off. You can't go 2 decades of your life, adult life, without making mistakes. But obviously, these mistakes are magnified and blown up by a community that are just full of fucking low IQ children. And that's what esports is. Low IQ, broke children that you must pander to at all times. And if you don't, you're the scumbag, apparently. Naturally, I've had a series of lies told about me down the years that have stuck. I drove a Redditor to suicide, quite famously, you'll remember, when I didn't. It was someone on the throwaway pretending to be their brother, pushed by Reddit moderators to do that. I chokeslammed a kid at DreamHack, when in reality what I did was a 27-year-old man tried to headbutt me and he got fucking sat because in an act of self-defense as ruled by Swedish police. I bullied Babam, a man older than me, by asking him to do the job he was hired for, which he refused to do because he didn't like me and Henry. Oh, yeah, I accused Doc, a young upcoming player, of cheating. Never did. And one of the other lies that is constantly told about me, and I get it all the time, every week a low IQ person, will post it, is I ruined Loba's career. If you don't know who Loba is a cave troll that learned how to play CS and streams, and very often streams face it until the point of him saying he's going to quit, and then everyone goes, oh, kind-hearted Loba's going to quit, and then he continues playing, and, it's just the endless cycle of cave trollery. Now, every now and then I'll get a message saying, I ruined his career. I ended his career. And I've ignored it because, honestly, in the sort of, totem pole of, Richard Lewis lies, it's not even really a big one. It doesn't really matter. But it keeps coming up, and I thought as a Christmas gift to myself, I'm just going to show you why that's garbage, and I'm going to debunk it. And I'm going to debunk it and then put it up on a video, and then anytime the lie comes up, you, my loving community, could just link them to this video, which is going to show how he actually destroyed his own career by doing terrible things, which were public knowledge prior to him getting his opportunity to be a pro. And one of the funny things is, he did a self-pitying, fake crying interview about how journalists ruined his career. And we're going to start with that because I need you to see how he explains it to people, and then here's the actual reality of what happened. It's super important that, we let people explain themselves in their own words.
Napravili smo kratku pauzu da malo saberemo emocije, jer vidim da je ovo neka tema koja te pogađa, ali mislim da je to emotivna strana tvoja koju će publika voleti da vidi i da ti probaš u stvari da ispričaš koliko želiš. To je druga strana medalje u stvari koju gledalci ne mogu često da vide. Sa kojim poteškoćama se jedan streamer bori?
Brate, streamuješ i konstantno osvojio najviše para u FPL-u, bio najviše puta prvi, najviše ga igrao, napravio FPLC, osmislio čitav taj koncept, prezentovao ga Faceitu, svi su prihvatili, napravilo se sve to i onda dođu određeni novinari koji, Richard Lewis Torin, krenu da prave priče izmišljene, da si ti steroidaš, da si ti tuko ljude po školi, da si ti, ne znam, najgori igrač, da ti ne znam.
Now, just to address this lie, what I said wasn't even Thorin. I said this. When we were having the beef, I said that Loba got beat up at school. I didn't say beat anybody up. He was bullied at school. This is a friend of his came forward and said, man, he fucking... And keep in mind, there's even a recording out there. I couldn't find it before the stream, but there's a recording out there of him, offering to meet me in Spain, to fly out to Spain, to fight me, to beat me up. He wanted to have a fist fight in person. He was dealing with a very sophisticated person. Where anyway, one of his friends came forward and said, man, he is fucking livid about you, but it's kind of funny because you got his number because, you know, he got bullied at school and that insecurity led him to hit the gym and, you know, he's definitely cycled and all this other stuff. Which, by the way, I don't give a fuck if you use steroids and I'm sorry you were bullied. Like, it's not good. But, you know, I have repeated that claim based on who it came from. But I never said he beat people up at school. I explicitly said the opposite, but whatever. So, listen, that's what was said. And you could be the judge of whether or not that's like a reasonable thing to say. But keep in mind, he'd already been threatening to assault me on multiple occasions. He'd accused friends of mine, colleagues of mine, as I'll show you, of being pedophiles. I mean, the guy is a fucking psycho. He had a Twitter account banned for the stuff he was doing and then tries to pretend he's a nice guy and just a victim. So, you know, I wasn't fucking with this guy to begin with. But anyway, on it goes, right? Let's listen to the rest of the tragic story of Cave Troll Loba.
Zaslužuješ ovo, ne zaslužuješ. Oni koji nikad nisu bili tu u toj situaciji, uzmu i tako o svim igračima nešto pričaju i uništavaju karijere. Tako su meni bilo kakvu šansu da Miko uzme i kad me Nexe uzeo Imperial, oni su rekli, super nam igrati s njime, sve ide dobro, 4-0, ali ne možemo da ga uzmemo.
You will notice there, I said I take my comments back about big-hearted Loba. We'll get to the big-hearted Loba meme in a bit. Clearly ready for Tier 1 Counter-Strike. And you can see here, this was when we were doing by the numbers. And I said on the podcast, he's not good enough. He's not good enough. And you can see here he is playing at what we call the Hooksy level, isn't he? He's a Hooksy. This is actually not a bad team. Next to Esperanto and Nookie are very good players. I don't know what happened to Pound, but he was like, people were talking him up at the time. And, you know, he's down here playing at a 0.76 level. As I said, the Hooksy line. Now, I also don't put any stock in him being a good IGL. I mean, he might be able to call in the sense that he can say a strat, but calling a strat and, you know, conceiving of a tactic that works are two different things. And he is thick as pig shit. So there's no way I was ever going to rate him as potentially a good leader because, you know, you have to have a degree of intelligence to be a good leader. And this guy is literally fucking, there's not, you know, I mean, there's nothing going on. So anyway, on it goes.
Zbog PR-a. A taj PR su bili njih dvojica koji su pravili odmah video protiv mene. I ima intervju Nexin gdje je rekao, super nam je bilo sa Lobanjom, ali u fazonu moramo da ga maknemo zbog PR-a, ne želi ga organizacije. I onda te stvari koje oni izazovu, jednostavno zbog sponzora...
The things they cause, remember that.
I ti nešto si sanjao i što si došao u FPL, kvalifikovao se, igraš i konstantno si tu, imaš posao. Pravi posao sam imam teretanu i imam igranje. I nemam ništa drugo u životu, to su te tri stvari. I onda dođu neki ljudi koji te ne vole zbog čega god i samo ti ugase to. I onda šta ti da radiš, okej, ne mogu to da dobijem, to mi je, znaš, zaustavljeno. I sad kako te neko pita o tome, to ti ono u fazonu, brate, znaš, sad ovo uradim, kao mogao sam, ali ja u stvari radim streaming, ne kažem da je to loše ili da to ne valja, da sam nezadovoljan, ali, znaš, san ti je da igraš profesionalno fudbal, a ne da snimaš reklame za fudbal. I da, kao glumiš da si dobar igrač. Nego bi volio zaista da si tu da pokažeš da možeš biti dobar igrač kao što si pokazao sad na vama. Tako da sve to te malo boli iznutra što zbog nekog drugog...
Someone else's actions.
Prvo, hvala ti što si...
So, anyway, right, there we go. And obviously, prior to that, they had to take a break because even the prospect of talking about the evil Richard Lewis and Thorin was making him fake cry and fake well up. So, anyway, listen, let me tell you exactly what I said on By the Numbers. I said he's dog shit and brain dead and isn't good enough to play at a pro level, and he's a PR disaster because he's got Tupac tattooed on him and thinks he's a gangster, right? And says crazy shit, including repeatedly using the N-word. And I said he'll probably only last a week. And they dropped him within a week, right? And so what I'll do first of all is I'll just show you how Loba rose to prominence, because I don't think people even remember this aspect of his history. And this is his history. Loba was a guy who would spam Reddit and spam HLTV forums about a conspiracy theory that all the FACEIT admins were cheating to get their MMR boosted, and he would and just look at this, take some meds, bro. But this is like, I don't even know, it's like 2016 or some shit, I think. This is what he did, and he would spam this on HLTV over and over and over and over again. He used to have his threads deleted. I think he even got banned for a bit for doing it. He used to put it on Reddit, right? Like, it was actually insane. And it was just basically like, oh, these admins are cheating and it's all a conspiracy and Face It are covering it up. And no. And he was just, totally, it was just one of those office fucking meds kind of incidents. But, like, he was so over-invested in the platform. Now, despite that, right, eventually, because he sort of became semi-popular and had ingratiated himself into Face It, even though his history was denigrating Face It as a platform, saying they were covering up wholesale cheating within their ranks and silencing and censoring him, because he got kind of vaguely popular and licked like some popular players' asses like Simple and people like that. There he is, Face It Mikey, would say stuff like this: Loba is someone who has a big heart and struggled on getting into teams. One humble action he made many years ago directly caused a butterfly effect, affecting 4 amazing talents that would end up becoming his teammates. Life is cool, go Loba. Right? Like, that's the official voice of fucking Face It there. Right? So big-hearted Loba. Thought he didn't cycle. Big-hearted Loba. And, basically he cooked Face It into the point where they made him one of the faces of the fucking brand. It's actually pathetic. But anyway, remember how he was saying in that interview that it was other people's actions that got him dropped? Well, okay. Let's start with that. So I did the By the Numbers podcast, said he was thick as pig shit, said he was bad, said he'd be gone in a week. Because he'd beefed with so many people, somebody went and did the old Twitter search. Now, I stress, this wasn't me. I knew these tweets existed, but hopefully, as I've proved, because the other part he leaves out of the story, is that when he got sponsored by Rivalry, and I was sponsored by Rivalry said, "You've had issues with Loba. Do you mind if we sponsor him? Is it a problem for you?" And I said, no, because I don't want to take away anyone's right to eat. That's not how I operate. However, I'm not going to pretend that I think he's good at a fucking video game when he isn't. But somebody was definitely pissed off. And so Loba used to do 2 things on Twitter. And the one thing he would do is he would spam lyrics of rap songs. And lyrics of rap songs, I don't know if you know, they have the N-word in them. And you know which N-word I'm talking about. And so I think it's harsh to penalise people for doing that, because lyrics are lyrics, and it's infantile to not be able to say the lyrics of songs. But I'll also add, that is a rule we've all decided on, for good or ill. That is now an expectation. So he would do that. The other thing he would do is refer to himself and other people as the spicy F slur, typically used to describe homosexuals, then was kind of reclaimed temporarily, pushed by a South Park episode, and then everyone lost their mind and said it was a hate crime. So there we go. So he says that a lot as well, as you'll see. And the third thing he used to use on his Twitter was he would be very sexually suggestive with women. And so, incredibly, someone who was upset with him went through, screenshotted all of these tweets, right? And fucking basically sent them to Imperial. Okay? Not me. I did not do that. I would totally own it if I did. I didn't do that. I generally have a rule to not do that unless somebody is doing it to someone else. If somebody does do that to somebody else, I'm happy to go through their shit. Like, for example, when some journalists went through and found some naughty tweets that Jacob Wolf had made when he was like 13, and they said, oh, look, ESPN should fire him. I went through their tweets when they were adults and found that they'd used the exact same words, and I went, what's up with that? You should resign, yeah? And what did they do? They blocked me. So that's good old Gorka for you. Rules for thee. But let's just again, I want him on the screen. Suffering from someone else's actions. That's what's on the screen. Someone else's actions. So, was this my action? Okay, we'll do the tweets that were circulating first. I have edited out the no words. This was him saying to, I believe, a female player, "Can I share my dick with you and show me if you can deep throat it like this?" Again, probably inappropriate to say to a woman, will you deep throat my dick? Another player, someone that might look up to you, you know, whatever. So that just out there in public. This one here, what a hell of a feeling. I'm living large. I'm a hell of an N-word. I'm still in charge. You know, don't know what song that's from, if it is indeed from a song, but there you go. That was one of the things he publicly tweeted. He deemed that to be worth tweeting about. There's this one. Take some time out your night, get some real dick. Young N-word breadwinner, need a fly chick. Real N-word like me, need a real bitch. That was another tweet there. Another one of the tweets I obviously made him do by warging into his brain. Don't know what was going on here. She spread dope, what I do to her legs, like the cocaine, I be stretching them. Interesting. Then we have this one. N-word passing disease, fucking the same slut. You either cutting a demo or getting cane cut. Okay. What a hell of a feeling. I'm living large. I'm a hell of an N-word. I'm still in charge. Again, I can get you from here or behind the bars. Love me a bitch, you gonna play her part. Then people might remember he had a flare up with Twist, the Swedish CS player. He basically was like saying he was dog shit and he was on you know, whatever the fuck they were using back then, Ventrilo or whatever it was. Not Ventrilo, that's way too old. TeamSpeak 3, I'll add. And, you know, he was on there and he was, like, getting into a flame war with Twist. And you can see here, he called him a butthurt F-word. Publicly, right? That F-word is the pejorative for homosexuals. So he did that. He then said this publicly about Sadakist. You got herpes from fucking underage girls. Seriously. So, I don't know. Accusing someone in the scene of being a pedophile, probably bad. I think we can agree on that. Didn't say allegedly. No, he didn't. He didn't, Josh. Didn't say allegedly, did he? Didn't use the get out of jail word. And because Matt blocked him after that, he then implied he should get a room with Twist, by extension implying that Matt is a spicy F word too for not wanting to, you know, see public accusations of that nature. Okay? Then, oh my fucking God, I'm loving all these people roasting Twist for being the shit noob, spicy F word he is. Y'all got my respect. So he's used the F word again and encouraging people spamming and attacking Twist. Why would he block him? I don't know. Why would he do that? And then there's this. I should go to sleep because I'm fucking traveling early. But if you guys want to watch a big fat F word stream, I can do that instead. So those tweets and others were compiled into an Imager collection, posted on Reddit. The mods then did their job and deleted it. Posted on HLTV. It just went of its course. But also, crucially, was sent to Imperial the day he joined. Right? So Imperial got their social media manager, who just happened to be a girl, and they fucking basically said, have a word with him and tell him not to do this again, and then we can continue to work together. And the problem is, he then decided to be very rude and inappropriate to her, implying that, oh, let's have a word in private, love. He was sexual, okay? Now, I went on a Discord and said that, and he kept saying, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it. And I said, well, bro, I don't want to post other people's DMs. I'm certain, you know, it's up to you. And he kept going, prove it, prove it, prove it. He just kept saying that, like literally 50% of the recording that's on YouTube somewhere is him just going, prove it, while his shit internet cuts out, right? And so, like, in the end, you know what he did? He posted it himself. He's that much of a fucking moron. He posted it thinking it would make him look good and it would prove me wrong. So just to show you, he did do that and then deleted it when even people like his friends, like Don Hassey, was going, this ain't it, bro. I just heard my bad flirting is woman abuse, confirmed by Officer Richie, got to step my flirt game up. Now, I don't think I said it was abuse, but I might have used the term like verbal abuse or verbally abusive. Maybe he doesn't understand the concept. But anyway, so that's his tweet that he's deleted, but naturally it's archived, right? And so just to show you, okay, what the full thing was, the social media manager said to him, Seriously, try to keep your social clean. No intended arguments or racism, and I'll be happy. So she has set him the like bare minimum fucking threshold, right? No racism. That's all he had to do, right? And so he said, I ain't a bitch, bae. And he's like, what do you mean? I got to go hard. Well, if I spot anything, we'll be having words. And that says, in private, I hope. Does anyone think that's an appropriate way to talk to a female social media manager at your company that you've just been hired for, right? This man was like 34. There's no excuse for this other than being brain dead. So, as I said, again, I kept these receipts all this time. But here's some receipts no one has ever seen. And again, I've redacted names, but we're past the statute of limitations. It's been like 5-6 years now. He also said I contacted Imperial Management to rat him out. But I never did. Here's the DMs that I got, right? After he was flaming me publicly and doing all of his shit. This is from Imperial Management. Just want to DM me. Just want to apologise for this clown Loba. I've been away, so wasn't able to properly look into this guy. He won't be playing with us beyond our game in an hour. Not acceptable, his behaviour. I appreciate it. Honestly, the whole thing was strange when I saw him announced. His history of sexist, racist, homophobic remarks is well known. It was, I showed you, right? And he's threatened a lot of people, including me, Twist, Sadikist, etc. I appreciate this message, honestly. And then the second part of the DM, I mean, look at this guy. Back then he was 28, not 34. Wicked. That. By the way, I had a brain at 28, but I guess I'm not a fucking full-time CS streamer, so my bad. Anyway, I wasn't aware until the last day or two. I'm a believer in second chances, but he spat in our faces after we told him to chill. Thanks for DMing me. Didn't want him to be affiliated with us at all. Wow. Would have thought he would realise what a good opportunity this was for him. Sorry to hear that. As it happened, I'd not have made any fuss. I'm used to players going after me when I say things they don't like. Yeah, it's unbelievable. He said some horrible stuff to our social media girl as well. Shocking. Right, see, we're getting some Lobe-tards coming in the chat. You shitty liar, since Stewie the cheater. I never said Stewie was a cheater. I defended Stewie from cheating. Mo called him a cheater. You got the wrong big guy with the beard, homie. But that's fine. You follow Loba, so you're brain dead. It's not your fault. Anyway, so hopefully everybody can now see, right, that I, in fact, did not do any of the things he claimed. It wasn't a, journalist conspiracy to stop him going a pro. It was literally the consequences of his own actions. And he was given a second chance and told the social media manager, I ain't a bitch. I gotta go hard. I hope we can have words in private. Completely sabotaged his own career. I secretly believe he knew he was doing that because he knew he wasn't good enough to hang. Anyway, let me just show you the tonal difference in the reactions to this utter lie that he has fucking fabricated for years. And so on Reddit, when the news came through that he was kicked, Lobanchka out of Imperial, you can see people started linking the Imgur and saying he got probably kicked for those tweets, or the possibility that Loba can make a tweet like this, RL is the only person with a reputation who called him out on those tweets. Say what you want about RL, but he probably is the only person in esport who calls out people for their bullshit. This is back when Reddit liked me. So you can see as well, then a bunch of Loba fans come in and there's a bunch of anti-Loba Circle jerk. But there's some funny comments in this thread. But by and large, the general reaction is he fucked it up for himself, okay? And actually it was nothing to do with Richard Lewis. So, on HLTV, of course, where I would argue more of his fan. I'm not going to make any broad proclamations about the general IQ of Reddit users versus the general IQ of HLTV users. But as you can see here, because Loba had to put it out there and tell his lies and fucking, even though all the receipts are there for everybody to see, and he fucked his own career, right, and blamed me for it and blamed journalists for it, said it was a big conspiracy, it worked. It actually took hold, and this is why you get fucking losers like this popping into the chat. And so I want you to have a look down here, right, and just see how many fucking Lewises there are in this chat. In the response. He was kicked because of his past tweets and Richard Lewis. I don't know why they go down the SJW path. Classic SJW Richard Lewis. Doesn't seem to be CS. Is really influenced by it. I like Loba getting compared to Jake Paul there. Great. Fuck Richard Lewis. He wants to burn down esports in any way he can. Yeah, because where would esports be without Loba? Where would it be? Where would it be without people calling people homophobic slurs and saying weird, creepy things to women who work in the space? Wouldn't it just be a paradise if we turned a blind eye to those things? There you go. Explain how. Explain how Richard wants to burn it down. Watch his vids and check his Twitter. He's basically never being invited to events ever again. This was 2018, by the way, so I think I was still doing E-League at this point. He's basically never being invited to events again, and he's burning bridges left and right. Doesn't give a fuck about CSGO. Starts up shit with every player, then cries victim. No, that was your beloved Loba when he was going. It's just so hard to talk about. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. Literally said that 90% of the fighting game community is retarded. Flames people on Twitter and Twitch chat all day. I mean, yeah, of course. RL is an idiot. Using the same methods RL uses in his journalism. He got permanently banned from DreamHack and ESL. Not true. Due to the choking attack. Literally was at a DreamHack event in Atlanta. Got rescued to E-League by his good friend from ESL, Christina Alejandre. We were set up as enemies at the start. Everybody wanted us to fight, but we didn't. She didn't know me before E-League. When Alejandra was kicked out of E-League, RL was kicked out of E-League. I actually went first. And he hasn't been on CSGO stages since then. Obviously, I've done a major, haven't I? But whatever. Yeah, the classic, this is definitely Richard Lewis on an alt. Still never posted. There you go. What were they thinking? They only gave him 2 best of 3s. Yeah, because it was about the other things. It wasn't about his play, which was shit. Richard Lewis followed Imperial CEO same day he got kicked. Fat man strikes again. Yeah, he followed me to DM me those DMs I just sent. I just showed you. By the way, for a fucking totally average player, a below average player, look at all these comments about it. It's just ridiculous. Richard Lewis, karma will strike. Sadly for you, probably be a heart attack. You are worse than Thorin. Again, didn't do anything. Literally all Loba's own actions and behaviours. So true. Nothing new there. Americans and English are the worst people on the entire planet. +1. Let's wait and hope that heart attack wrecks him. I used to love Richard Lewis's content, but he turned into a prize bellend. Gets wound up by people again and again. Repeatedly calls people mentally ill, and there's no mental illness in esports, and goes ad hominem. Now this. Accused Loba of being a juice head. He understandably called him out, and it's led to him being cut. None of that is what happened. Would Loba have made it on this team? Probably not, but he should have got a chance. Richard is a fucking cunt. He just becomes unnecessarily confrontational again and again. Look at his replies to Nell here. Nell's being very polite. Rational argument. RL still acts like the big man. Can you screenshot that? He blocked me for no reason. Fucking Richard. Fucking fatty cunt. Richard Lewis's podcast is fun and insightful, but anyone who takes it seriously is in for a rouse. You know when things are their opinions and know when they are cracking a joke. You can voice that you disagree with them, but then it always turns into this obnoxious Twitter beef that literally nobody gives a shit about. It's tough to take anyone seriously in this scene when minor criticism and jokes turn into a massive tirade and the whole community gets up in arms over nothing. Maybe don't get up in arms over nothing. Fuck Richard Lewis. Now, keep in mind, by the way, how is it just known that I cost him his career at this point? Like, because of Loba, because this cunt is fucking crying about it. And he never brings up, I did tweet some crazy shit. He never brings up, yeah, I did say that to the Imperial manager. Literally deleted it, covered it up, covered all this shit up for years. It's fucking unreal. Loba got kicked because he had a beef with Richard Lewis, so Imperial decided to kick him. Like, I don't think think of all the players we've criticised on BTN down the years. Think about all the players I've criticised just in general down the years. Have any of them been kicked as a direct result of my criticism? So what makes Loba different? Why would it be him and nobody else? Why do I have this power, but only for Loba? It just doesn't make sense, does it? That's because it's all lies. Also, they didn't give Loba a chance to explain himself. We can conclude that Imperial is a meme org and can't be taken seriously because they prefer to kick their players instead of having a conversation, and they prefer to be cool with Richard Lewis than giving Loba a chance to explain the whole beef. He literally had 2 chances, by the way. I mean, look at this. I didn't realise. I forgot it was like this long. Richie, go fuck yourself, retardinio. I hope karma strikes you. Strong uptake for karma striking me. Richard Lewis is honestly harsh. Richard Lewis isn't that the dude who sucks off the young boys at LAN tournaments and got caught with a dick in his mouth? No, that's not me. Think you might be thinking of your dad. Richard Lewis needs to fix up. Blocking people for having an opinion or receiving constructive criticism. I once said how his shirt clashed with the stream, and believe it or not, kabam, insta-block. Right, so that was the reaction. That is the mass reaction to a guy getting fired for all the shit that I just showed you. And I don't mind, because, like, look, this is his audience, by the way. Look at this for a first-time chatter from his stream. Boss, I have a serious question. How often you shave your pussy, you delusional mentally ill cunt? I mean, again, like, dude, you want to talk about delusions, boys? I'd say going on a, why did the journalists get me? Boo-hoo-hoo, I'm a big man with a big heart, boo-hoo-hoo. I'm crying over something I made up in my mind. Like, that seems delusional to me. The fucking, the streamer you worship because you're a fucking loser. You know what I mean? So, God, the journalists are getting me. Oh, the journalists are getting me. It's pathetic, isn't it? That's your big man. That's your big hard man challenging people to fights. Fake crying on a fucking video over fucking, you know what I mean? Over something that objectively never happened. So, But that's his audience. That's who it is. So, listen, I said as a Christmas gift to myself, I was going to completely debunk everything he fucking said, because he is, as you can see, an objective liar that never took accountability for the things he did and blamed journalistic coverage as for having ended his career. As you can see, from his own actions, he was given a chance at Imperial, even after the racism and the homophobia and accusing people in the scene of being pedophiles, and he threw it away by being rude to the female social media manager. And what's he gone on to do? He's created a stream where the average fucking fan of him is even more brain dead than him. It must be hell. It must be hell. So, I don't know. No wonder. It must be terrible watching him get fucking wrecked that hard. So, hope you enjoyed that, Loba. You just stop talking shit. Super easy. Adults take accountability for their actions, blood. So, little Christmas gift from me to you. Have another cry on stream about it, dickhead.